And the Colonials grab the opening tap. Enoch Cheeks, who could be the X factor in this game, gives the basketball to Michael Green III. Transfer out of Bryant. Cheeks now with it against Ollison. But it's Bryant who's going to look to Khalil Spear early. The pass intended for Green, broken up by Cohill, who knocked it out of bounds.
Youngstown State opening up in a man-to-man defense. Cohill went right into the passing lane, knocked the ball out of bounds, as you said, partner.
All right, with that, Michael Green III. This year he had 5 assists or more in 6 of the last 7 games, 11 times total. Spear far corner 3 is perfect. He was 3 of 3 from beyond the arc against Youngstown State in the second game. The rest of the season, Spear was just 3 for 24 from beyond the arc. He loves shooting from beyond the arc here at Beagley. He gets his team on the board first. Ollison far sideline, gets it out to Cohill, now 10 to shoot. Cohill against Cheeks, runs by him down the middle of the lane, scooped it up, couldn't spin it in. Will Dunn with the offensive rebound, and he gets fouled by Enoch Cheeks. First foul of the night against either team. Cheeks, in Saturday's loss at Wright State, fouled out of that game after coming up with 5 points and 4 rebounds. So Will Dunn will go to the stripe. 6'8" sophomore out of Quincy, Michigan, averaging 5.5 points, 3 rebounds a game. Again, did not play in game 1. In game 2, he had 3 points, 3 rebounds, was 1 of 1 from the line. Dunn's first attempt here is short of the mark for the season. A 77% shooter from the line, 75% against the league. Penguins as a team shot 75% from the line, 78% against the league, as Dunn splits his free throws, scores YSU's first point of the night.
And the tradition moves on here at Beagley. Everyone starts to sit down and get comfortable.
All right, with that, Mayers looking for Cheeks. Spears trying to post up Akuche. Instead, it's Williams out front, and he'll give it to Green. Green steps back, far sideline 3, won't fall, on the rebound to Akuche of Youngstown State. Shamar Ratan-Mays into the forecourt with it now, directing traffic for the Penguins. Wants to hand off to Cohill and does, far sideline. Ollison now with 15 to shoot. Akuche has it on the wing. He'll drive on Mayers. Find Dunn, far sideline. Shut off by Spears. Gets inside and traveled with the basketball. Penguins turned it over 26 times in the first meeting between these two teams in Moon Township, yet won that game 64-60.
Yeah, that's normally not a recipe for getting a victory. Unfortunately for Robert Morris, they just weren't able to get the win on their home floor, but they turned around and got a little revenge here at Beagley later in the season.
Now Green picks up his dribble, now finds Cheeks 2 minutes into our game. Ball bounced to Spear, but he has to come out near the center circle to grab it. Green got by Ollison, makes the drop off to Mayers, who has a shot blocked from behind by Dunn. Mayers stays with it and scores his first 2. He's shooting a team high 62% from the field, averaging 6 points, 4.5 rebounds a game for the Colonials, who have upped the ante now to 5-1. Cohill drives on Cheeks. His runner down the left of the lane draws a foul, and it will be assessed to Cheeks, who has his second here in the first 2.5 minutes of our game. Now we'll put Dwayne Cohill at the line for YSU. 6'2" junior out of Cleveland, Ohio. Transferred to Youngstown State from Dayton this season, averaging 14 points, 4 rebounds a game. Was placed on the Horizon League's all-league 3rd team earlier in the week. Cohill's first attempt rattles around and falls off the rim. He's an 82% free throw shooter, 83% against the league, as Enoch Cheeks comes out of Robert Morris's lineup. His spot filled by Cam Ferris, a 6'3" sophomore from Burlington, Vermont. Cohill in game 1 had 7 points. Game 2 poured in 18. Brings up his first point of the night as the Penguins have split their first 4 free throws of the game. All right, Green finds Ferris. He can shoot it from out there if allowed to. Williams now looks to drive. His 15-footer from the foul line's on the money. Jerron Williams, 6'6" senior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, averaging 7 points, 3 rebounds a game. Only scored 2 points in the 2 games combined for Robert Morris against YSU, but the Colonials now lead by 5.
Robert Morris off to a hot start. 3 of their first 5 shots have found the hole.
Cohill drives. His runner down the right of the lane finds the mark. So Dwayne Cohill with his first field goal. Penguins' first field goal as a team, and they now trail 7-4. With that, Green gets to the left of the lane on Cohill, but has to throw it back out front for Green to come and get it again. Williams looking down low for Mayers, nothing there. Spear now with 10 to shoot, heads down the left of the lane. Shoots the 6-footer, banked it too hard off the glass. Rebound run down by Dwayne Cohill of YSU. Cohill fires to an open Akuche, who had a chance to grab it and go up and score, but fumbled the ball out of bounds. And with that, Brandon Stone will check in for the Colonials. Matt Mayers will sit down. Stone, a 6'11" junior from Alvertown, Pennsylvania.
Michael Akuche, I think he was trying to figure out what he was going to do with the basketball and didn't realize, hey, I got to catch this thing first.
Colonials leading by 3. Coming up on 16 minutes left to play in the first half. Jerron Williams playing peekaboo, open, but before he can take the shot, an offensive foul here against Brandon Stone for the moving screen. Stone has his first foul. That's the 3rd against the Colonials here in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that's an easy foul called by the official. And note to the kids listening into this game or watching this game, a moving screen is real simple. Once you set a screen, you cannot move your feet. If you do, it's a moving screen.
Penguins possibly a chance to tie. Akuche near side left wing, 3's short of the mark. Rebound Ollison, and he got hooked.
It's a tough venture to get to Indianapolis.
Penguins off the timeout with a chance to tie again as Akuche grabs the ball against Brandon Stone. 10 to shoot now. Rattan Mays left wing 3. Left it short, and Stone's there for the defensive rebound. Twice now YSU has failed to tie on a possession. Green now gives the ball to Spear. Right baseline on Akuche. Gets inside, muscles one up and scores. Khalil Spear now with 5 points. Came in averaging 14.5, nearly 8 rebounds a game. He was the difference in game 2. Cohill now by Akuche screen. Down the right of the lane on Ferris. Scooped it up. Got the ball to go up on the rim. And then Akuche tapped in the miss. Michael Akuche was 0 for 8 from the field at Northern Kentucky in Saturday's regular season ending loss. He gets his first 2 here. Came in averaging 14 points, 8 rebounds a game during the regular campaign for the Penguins.
And Akuche did a really nice job making sure that ball was not on the cylinder.
Williams lost it to Tevin Ollison, who comes into the forecourt with it for the Penguins. Ollison leads the team in steals this season, now with 34. Rattan Mays out front. He's been shooting well at home from beyond the arc. On the nice feed from Akuche, Rattan Mays banks in 2. Shamar Rattan Mays averaging 8.5 points, 2.5 rebounds per game this season. Scored only 5 points combined in the 2 meetings during the regular campaign against Robert Morris, but pulls YSU to within 1 here. As Spears finds himself open underneath. Will Dunn lost him, and Spear rams in 2 more.
Khalil Spear continuing to make Beagley his playground. I mean, he is just fantastic in this building.
Cohill looking to drive, scoops to Dunn near sideline 3 off the back of the rim. And the rebound to Robert Morris's Michael Green III. Green races to the near sideline, almost double team. Ball goes down low to Stone now. Stone against Dunn, going to turn to the baseline. His jumper's left short, and the rebound to Ollison for Youngstown State. Rattan Mays on Green. Going to go back around Akuche. Now the mismatch. Well, Akuche back on Stone. 9 to shoot. Into the lane. Pump fakes. Puts it up off the back of the rim. No. Fight for the rebound leads to a foul against Youngstown State. They'll assess it to Michael Akuche. So that'll be his first of the night. First against YSU as a team here in the first half as both teams go to the bench. Enoch Cheeks will come back in for the Colonials, replacing Jerron Williams. For YSU, Will Dunn will sit down. Miles Hunter inserted into the game, 6'5" sophomore out of Charlotte, North Carolina. All right, Colonials have led from the outset. Their largest lead in the game so far has been 5 on 2 separate occasions. Their largest lead during the regular season was 5 points. That came in game 2. Cheeks back into the game, playing with 2 fouls. Gives the ball to Green, underneath the basket. Out to Spear. 5 to shoot. Cheeks to the right baseline. Over Akuche, put it in. Tough shot by Enoch Cheeks. He and Khalil Spear are the only players this year for the Colonials to start all 31 games. Cheeks, the 6'3" sophomore from Providence, Rhode Island, has put the Colonials back up by 5. Akuche now with it down the right of the lane on Stone, throws up the runner. Came up short, but he got fouled, and now will shoot free throws. With that, Brandon Stone called for his second personal. That's number 5 against Robert Morris, and Michael Akuche will head to the stripe for the first time.
Stone wondering what he did wrong. He had his hands straight up, and the head coach and Robert Morris, Andy Toole, is saying, hey, he had his hands straight up. Problem was he had his back bent over, and that's why the official got him. He wasn't standing straight up.
Akuche makes his first. He's now 10 of 10 against the Colonials this season from the line as Brandon Stone will sit down. Gives way to Matt Mayers. Akuche this year an 83% free throw shooter, 84.5% against the league. He had double-doubles in both regular season games against Robert Morris as he stays perfect from the line against the Colonials. And he'll now go to the bench, giving way to Jameer Thomas, a 6'8" redshirt senior from Passaic, New Jersey. Coming up on 12 minutes to play in our first half. First round of the Keeps Horizon League Basketball Championships. Green looking to penetrate, lost the ball. It will be saved though. And now Cam Ferris with 10 to shoot. Throws up the floater in the lane and put it through. Cam Ferris averaging 9 points, a rebound and a half. Brings up his first 2, and Robert Morris gets the lead back to 5.
Robert Morris continuing to sizzle from the field, 7 of 11, 64%.
Tevin Allison now in the lane, in traffic, going to go up, drop in 2 and get 5.
In third teams as well as the coach of the year, everything they did, fantastic job.
Tevin Allison at the line where he is a 78% free throw shooter, completes the 3-point play after being fouled by Matt Mayers before the timeout. And with that, YSU has pulled to within 2. Green still out on the floor, yet to take a break. He may play all 40 minutes tonight. Spear now goes down low to Mayers. Good matchup for him. Off the baseline, his shot's a little too strong and goes over the basket to Shamar Rattan-Mays of Youngstown State. Ball goes down low to Jameer Thomas. Finds Allison, far sideline 3. In and out, no good, and the rebound controlled by Enoch Cheeks of Robert Morris. With that, Ferris's long 3's on the money. Cam Ferris hit 4 threes against Youngstown State in the 2 regular season games. Had games of 10 points, 1 assist, 10 points, 2 assists. He's halfway there, now with 5 on the second 3 made by the Colonials. They get the lead back out to 5. Allison left wing 3. Bang, bang. Tevin Allison hit 6 threes against the Colonials in the regular season. He had 15 points in game 1. Added a dozen more in game 2. He's got 5 points from the field. Give him 6 points overall in the game now. With that, Green looking to penetrate and got fouled. Cohill and Thomas in the neighborhood. It is Dwayne Cohill who's called for the infraction.
Yeah, Cohill bumped him. Dwayne looking around at the officials saying, I barely touched him. Well, still constitutes as a foul.
Rattan-Mays comes out of YSU's lineup. Owen Long checks in for his first tour of duty. He's guarding Ferris, who throws up another 3 from the near corner, but that one's off the mark, and the rebound to Cohill of YSU. He'll race through the defense to the basket, goes to lay it in. Miles Hunter follows the miss. Hunter in the month of February was on fire from the field, shooting 55%, and he has tied the game at 18.
That was just an outstanding job of timing his leap.
Thomas knocks that ball into the backcourt where Enoch Cheeks will retrieve it now for Robert Morris. He'll pull up, shoot over long, but miss it off the back of the rim. And the Penguins' Dwayne Cohill grabs the ball as YSU looks for its first lead of the game. Thomas left of the lane now. Thomas turning, gonna hook it up on the rim. No, the rebound offensively to Long. Clears the ball to Ollison, who stays in bounds in the far corner. Penguins with a second chance here with our game tied at 18. Cohill slides to the ground, no travel. Long takes the ball down the baseline. Tried to make a tough pass that's grabbed by Spear, and then he gets grabbed and fouled by Tevin Ollison.
Cohill is slow to get up.
So Tevin Ollison has his first infraction. With that, Shamara Tamays will return now for YSU. Looks like Dwayne Cohill will go to the bench here. Cohill retying his shoes. For the Colonials, Jerron Williams will return to action. They will give Michael Green III a breather finally. Jameer Thomas will sit down for the Penguins. Michael Akuche checks in. Chase Cook comes into the game as well. 5'10 sophomore from Washington, D.C., a preferred walk-on. Didn't even play as a freshman last season.
And Rob, I'm looking over at Cohill. Cohill hurt his foot. He took his shoe off immediately and was grabbing his foot. Trainers over there right now looking at him.
Down to 8. Ferris with 5 to shoot now for RMU. Down the right of the lane, got by Long, throws up the runner, partially blocked by Akuche, but Mayers follows it up and scores. Transfer out of Hutchinson Community College in Kansas. Puts Robert Morris up by 2, and then an offensive foul as Shamara Tamays runs over Chase Cook. So Tamays has his first foul for Youngstown State, team foul number 4. 8:34 to go in the opening half. Luke Chacone's going to be inserted into Youngstown State's lineup. Chacone, a 5'10 freshman from Menor, Ohio, as Rattan Mays heads back to the bench. All right, Chase Cook into the forecourt. He and Chacone, good distributors, not much of scoring. Cook finds Spears. He can score. Down the right baseline. Shot blocked from behind by Hunter, but Spear was fouled as well. And they'll give the foul to Hunter. That's his first for YSU, team foul number 6. And Khalil Spear will step to the stripe for the first time. 76% free throw shooter against the league, hit 77.5% from the line. Spear with 7 points tonight. In the 2 meetings during the regular season, he was 5 of 6 from the line against Youngstown State. Spear's first one, too hard off the back of the rim. That's the first free throw of the night attempted by the Colonials. For the season, they shot just under 77% from the line. Against YSU in the 2 regular season meetings, they were 26 of 30. Spear again splits the pair. He's got 8 points, and just like that, RMU leads by 3. .15 to shoot. Ollison near sideline. Back to Ollison with 10 to shoot. Left wing 3. Good. Tevin Ollison's second 3. Had 15 points in the regular season finale at Northern Kentucky. He can explode as Owen. Both teams still with 4 timeouts left. Both teams with 6 fouls apiece. Chase Cook takes the ball off the inbounds pass as we resume play. Ball goes into Spear, who takes the short jumper and scores over Daniel Agoro, who's been brought into the game. And Spear now in double figures for the 26th time this season, 10th straight game in which he has put up 10 or more for Robert Morris. .15 to shoot. Ollison, middle of the floor now. Looking for Chacone, not much of a score. Deals to Hunter from the foul line. Good zone breaker, and he got that one to bounce in off the front of the rim. He's got a great mid-range game as Miles Hunter now has 4 points in the contest.
Rob, the key to breaking a zone is to get the ball into the soft spot of the zone. That would be the foul line. That's exactly what Chacon did with that pass to Hunter.
Williams shut off on the baseline. Cook, not much of a shooter. Left alone, though, and drills the three. Chase Cook was just 1 of 6 from the field in 12 away games this season, going just 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. He was only 2 of 7 in the regular campaign from three-point range. Gets one there for Robert Morris. Those are bonus points.
Yeah, and Robert Morris did a really nice job of zoning out Chacon.
Akuche lost that rebound to Enoch Cheeks. Still, Robert Morris has not trailed in this game. Cook going to go left baseline. Williams saves that ball along the near sideline. Out to Cheeks. His long three is off to the left. And Chacon grabs the miss for Youngstown State as we come up on 6 minutes left to play in the first half. Akuche gets it back in the middle to Hunter, but he finds Agoro, who throws the three over the basket. And the rebound to Jerron Williams of Robert Morris.
Yeah, once you get the ball into the foul line, you can do multiple things. If you kick the ball out real quick, you'll have an open three. Unfortunately for Daniel, he couldn't come up with a basket.
Mayer sets the screen. Williams around him. His 17-footer is short. Rebound almost saved by Enoch Cheeks, but he threw the ball off the backboard, and that will allow both teams to make changes to their 5 on the floor. Dwayne Cohill, Jameer Thomas back in for Youngstown State, replacing Tevin Ollis and Daniel Agoro. Chase Cook and Khalil Spear will sit down for the Colonials. Brandon Stone and Michael Green III return.
Rob, we've been doing a lot of YSU games this year. I think this is the first time, at least in Beagley, that Akuche and Thomas are on the floor at the same time this year.
Now see if the size helps YSU. Cohill finds Thomas, deals to Hunter, near side three. That sailed off to the left, and the rebound to Brandon Stone of the Colonials. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half now. Green down the left of the lane. His runner's too strong. And the rebound saved by Hunter. Nope, couldn't keep it in play. Lost the ball on the baseline. And it will be handed back to Robert Morris as Chris Shelton will be brought into the game for YSU. His first tour of duty. Shelton, a 6'4 junior from Louisa, Virginia, replacing Miles Hunter. Khalil Spear quickly back into the game for Robert Morris as Matt Mayers sits down. Spear now left to the lane on Akuche. Got in deep, takes a tough shot that he missed but was fouled. So Akuche has his second personal. That'll put the Penguins over the limit. 2 free throws coming, however, for Khalil Spear. Spear 1 of 2 from the line, the only player for Robert Morris to get to the stripe thus far. He's got 10 points in the contest. Left that one short. Robert Morris still up by 3, however, and have not trailed in this game as of yet. Missed them both. They've got a lane violation against Youngstown State. So Khalil Spear gets the old NBA 3 to make 2. See if he can make the most of this third opportunity.
Well, we just went back into the 1970s with that reference. You know how many times guys had the 3 to make 2 and still couldn't make the 2?
Yep.
Ugh, horrible.
Enoch Cheeks lifted from the lineup for the Colonials. Cam Ferris will take his spot. Spear back at the line looking for his 11th point of the game. He missed that one as well, and there's Jameer Thomas to box out and grab the miss. Penguins still trail, though, 26-23. Cohill goes into Thomas. Hooks it up over Spear, two out off the back of the rim, and Spear's there for the miss. Thomas trying to keep up with him on the other end of the floor now. We approach 4 minutes to go in the half. Colonials still lead by 3. Green into the lane. Tough pass for Spear. Too far outside of his range to grab it, and the ball goes out of play. He's coming off the timeout. And Rattan Mays will come into the forecourt now. Ball bounced to Cohill at the foul line, got by Spear to the basket. Stone blocked his shot and then grabs it for Robert Morris. With that, Green gets through the defense, right to the basket, scooped it in and drew the foul. That's what Dwayne Cohill was hoping to do. But the foul now gives Green a chance at a three-point play. So Will Dunn, who made a desperation grab at him as he ran to the basket, has his first foul. Michael Green, the third, comes in averaging just under 11 points a game to go 3.5 assists a contest. Scores his first 2 points, heads to the line, and makes that free throw to complete the three-point play. And just like that, it's a 6-point lead for Robert Morris. That's their largest lead against Youngstown State in any game this season. Rattan Mays near side, out to Dunn. He'll jack the three. No good. Rebound Shelton offensively. Pushed it to Cohill. Now Shelton near corner three. Stone runs by him. Shelton sets, left it short. And Robert Morris continues to shoot well, and the Penguins struggling. Colonials are 12 of 23 from the floor now for better than 50%. YSU just 8 of 24. 3 minutes to go in the half. Ball bounced to Green. Nice cut. Heads to the basket and scores, and YSU not really putting up much defensive pressure right now.
Yeah, Green blew right past Dwayne Cohill on his way to the basket. Way too easy for Robert Morris right now.
Dunn takes the entry pass, tough off his hands, couldn't grab it. Stone does for the Colonials. They have a chance to go up by double figures. Green now, floater goes up, that goes in. Yep. They look to finish the half strong. YSU led at the break in both of the regular season games. Hunter in the lane, turnaround 13-footer for him is left short, and the rebound tapped to Spear of Robert Morris.
Well, this zone defense by Robert Morris is giving YSU all kinds of trouble.
Under 2 minutes to go in the half. Green stops right in the lane. Now 10 to shoot. Williams runs over Allison, but left alone for the jumper, but yet he missed it off the back of the rim. Rebound, though, off of Rattan Mays and out of play. And right now, YSU just not catching a break, whether it's getting that foul call or hanging on to a missed shot.
Sometimes you got to make the breaks in the game of basketball. Right now the Penguins are a step slow and just a half a second slow on defense and not getting it done offensively.
Ferris turning on Rattan Mays. Stone gets him out of trouble. Feeds to Green, who cuts down the left of the lane, has the shot blocked. Grabbed by Allison. Green slows him down, but the ball fed to Cohill, who finds Hunter. Got around Stone. Slowed down by Ferris, who reached in and committed the foul. So Cam Ferris with his first foul of the night. That will place the Colonials over the limit. And Miles Hunter will go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. Miles Hunter, a 71% free throw shooter. Before he can attempt one of them, Daniel Aguro comes in for YSU's Michael Akuche.
That's a good substitution. Akuche with 2 fouls. You certainly do not want him on the floor with the opportunity to get a third.
Hunter's front end bounces off the front of the rim. Rebound to Robert Morris, which still leads 33-23. A minute to go in the half now. Spear against Hunter. Lost the ball on the way up for a shot, and the Penguins take it away. Miles Hunter with a good job defensively. Cohill now looking to run through the defense. Gets to the basket, throws up the runner, banked it in, and drew the foul. Wayne Cohill with a big basket there for Youngstown State. Ends Robert Morris's run of 10 unanswered points. And now YSU has a chance at a three-point play.
Well, that's an outstanding job by Cohill. He had left the ball game with a little foot injury. Cohill making sure that he wants to be on this floor and give Youngstown State the opportunity to get a comeback here.
Foul on Spear, his first. Cohill 1 of 2 from the stripe. Finishes off the three-point play. Brings up his 6th point of the half. YSU now trails 33-26 as we come up on the final 40 seconds of the first half. Spear wants the ball against Cohill. Right baseline with 15 to shoot. Spear runs over Cohill, no call, and they're going to rule a charge. Nope, they're going to rule the block. Yep. Oh, wait a minute, now what do they rule here? Okay. Rattan Mays called for the foul. That's his second. And Spear's going to the free throw line.
2 shots for Spear.
Yeah, see, Khalil Spear was going in on Cohill. Everybody watched that contact, but from the backside, it was Rattan Mays who tried to swipe at the ball and committed the foul as Spear hits the first of his 2 free throws.
And the fans are booing because they thought Cohill was run over by Khalil Spear. But you're right, partner. Shamar Rattan Mays took a swipe at the ball and slapped Spear.
Looking for his 12th point of the first half, and he's got it. And with that, Robert Morris leads 35-26. Shot clock turned off. YSU can work for the last shot of the first half. They will trail at the break in this series for the first time this season. Cohill, 9 seconds left in the half. Finds Ollison, far corner 3. In and out, no good. Rebound, Spear. He'll try to get it up the floor to Williams to beat the buzzer. That was one of the penalties they had to serve since they're leaving the Horizon League and going to the Missouri Valley. YSU gets the ball to start the second half. We'll see how they start coming out of the locker room. Cohill will drive in on Enoch Cheeks, take a tough jumper and miss it. And the Penguins still struggling from the field even though the ball's loose. And the Colonials grab it. Mayer's able to clear the ball to Jerron Williams. Spear with it, top of the lane now, 10 to shoot. Green down the right of the lane, 5 to shoot. Throws to Williams out front, his 3's on the money. That is not a good sign for Youngstown State. Great sign for Robert Morris. Jerron Williams had only 2 points combined in those 2 regular season games, as I mentioned. That 3 gives him 5 here tonight, and the Colonials go up by a dozen. Back the other way now. See if YSU can get kick-started offensively. Akuche, right of the lane. Throws to Rattan Mays. His open 3 is short, and the rebound run down by Spear of Robert Morris. And the Penguins now shooting 31% for the game. Cheek's going to pull up, 18-footer for him, in and out, and the rebound to Tevin Ollison of YSU, which trails 38-26. Cohill into the lane against Green, takes a tough runner, can't bank it in. Rebound to Cheeks. Tried to make a pass into Mayers. Ollison knocked it loose and Dunn steals it for YSU.
And Cohill trying to do too much for the Penguins. He needs to settle down just a little bit.
Akuche goes baseline and gets fouled by Matt Mayers. That'll be his second personal of the game. First against either team here in the second half. 18 minutes to play in the contest.
Now, you certainly don't blame Dwayne Cohill. I mean, he's trying to jumpstart this offense, but you've got to be able to play within yourself and try to get the other guys involved as well.
Ollison's 3 from the far corners off the mark, and the rebound to Cheeks, and the Penguins cannot buy a basket here at home. They have started the second half now 0 for 4. Cheeks near sideline 3. Bounced across the basket. Rebound. Spear, though. Lost it on the floor. Cheeks gets it. Rattan Mays trying to tie him up. And does. Held ball. Possession arrow, though, keeps it with Robert Morris. Miles Hunter coming in now for Youngstown State. Will Dunn will sit down. Hunter with 4 points in the first half off the bench. We'll check in for Dunn, who will sit down with 1 point to his credit tonight. 25 on the shot clock. Ball comes into Williams. Green and Spear trying to team up here. 10 to shoot. Williams against Akuche. Nothing yet. Spear with 5 to shoot. Got by Hunter. Throws up the runner and banked it in. 14 points for Khalil Spear. Robert Morris leads 40-26. With that, Akuche goes left baseline. Runner left short. Got his own miss. Pump fake. Shoots. Shot blocked by Mayers. Grabs the ball for Robert Morris, and they're winning the battle on both ends now. 3 minutes into the second half. Green left wing 3. Off the back of the rim. Long rebound out to Akuche. Penguins looking for their first points of the half. Cohill gets in deep, goes up for the shot, and Spear grabbed it away. And then Cohill grabbed him trying to get the ball back. Cohill with his second personal foul.
Well, Robert Morris just playing some great defense right now. Their interior defense in this second half has been as good as we have seen.
Again, Robert Morris had not won a game since they picked up the victory here in Youngstown. On February 13th, they lost their final 4 games of the regular campaign, and that includes a loss to IUPUI at home. But they are a different-looking team here tonight against the Penguins as Jerron Williams runs right through the defense and easily lays it in.
No communication right now for the Penguins.
In the regular season, did YSU trail from start to finish? That was once against Purdue-Fort Wayne, and then their second-to-last regular season game at Wright State. Akuche off the timeout, trying to get going offensively, and Mayers blocked his shot. Grabbed by Green of the Colonials, and their size inside is giving Youngstown State all kinds of fits now. Green down the right of the lane, drop it off to Mayers. Tough catch in traffic. Got a pair of guys in before Tuesday's men's championship game. To learn more about all these great events, go online to horizonleague.com/Indy. YSU's gone better than 4 minutes without scoring here to start the second half. Ollison finds Rattan Mays. Dropped the ball. That ruined his chance for a shot, but Owen Long out of the corner. Finds things to his liking. Hits the 3. Penguins' first basket of the second half. His team was a preseason number 9 selection. They ended up sharing the regular season crown with Cleveland State. All right, the Colonials able to come into the forecourt now following that timeout. So each team with 2 remaining in the game. Stone back into the contest for Robert Morris. Ferris off the curl, missed his shot, got fouled by Owen Long.
Yeah, Owen got him on the elbow. There's no question that was a foul.
Long second personal, second against Youngstown State as a team. And Cam Ferris will head to the stripe. Ferris for the season, a 73% free throw shooter, both for the season and against the league. 5 points for him tonight, give him 6. He was 6 of 8 from the line in the 2 games combined against Youngstown State. Ferris started 11 games for Robert Morris from December 4th through January 15th. Pushes his team's lead out to 15 now. Under 15 minutes to play in the game. Ball thrown to Akuche. Bounced along. Left wing three. Off the rim, that's no good. Rebound pulled away by Spear. Lost the ball to Allison, who goes up and lays it in for the Penguins. That's a pure gift handed to the Penguins by Robert Morris. Allison now in double figures for the 22nd time this year. .15 to shoot. Green by the stone screen, picked up by Akuche. No look pass to Cheeks. Goes baseline, scores off the glass. Cheeks now with 4 points.
Good ball movement by Robert Morris, finding the open guy on the baseline.
Penguins can ill afford to trade baskets at this stage of the game with the Colonials. Rattan Mays tried to get the ball to Miles Hunter, but it's kicked away by Cam Ferris. Dwayne Cohill coming back in now for YSU.
Number 5, Dwayne
Rattan Mays will sit down.
back into the Penguins.
Penguins just 3 of 15 from beyond the arc here tonight. Robert Morris settling into that zone. 15 to shoot now for the Penguins. Long with 10 to shoot. Got it to Akuche at the foul line. Into traffic. Finds Cohill. 7 to shoot. Top side long. 4-3. Off the back of the rim. Rebound pulled away by Spear of Robert Morris. Cheeks will drive. Tough pass. Good catch by Stone with one hand that he drops in his first 2.
Well, that was an outstanding pass and an even better catch by the 6'11" junior.
Allison now right up the lane. Pump fake. Got his man in the air. Takes the shot. Left it short. Got it back. Threw it back up. Left it short again. Yet this time got fouled. And those 2 misses have epitomized the Penguins' play here offensively tonight. They have left a lot of attempts short. They've had good looks, and they just have not fallen down. So the foul on Enoch Cheeks, his 3rd. And will send Tevin Allison to the free throw line. Allison tonight with 11 points. 1 of 1 from the line. Allison stays perfect from the line. He has now scored double figures in all 3 games against the Colonials this season. With that, Rattan Mays returns for YSU, replacing Owen Long. Cheeks and Spear will get a breather for Robert Morris. Williams checks in, and so is Mayers. Allison brings up both free throws. YSU trailing now 48-33. Under 13 minutes to go in the contest. Penguins trying to trap. Ball goes to Mayers. Finds Ferris, who's open for 3. That's left short. Rebound comes out to Hunter of Youngstown State. Ahead to Allison by Green. Got fouled on the drive to the basket. So the foul against Michael Green, the 3rd, his first. 3rd against the Colonials here in the second half as a team. Right now, the difference in this game, 2 runs by Robert Morris. A 10-point run in the first half after the game was tied at 23, and then a 9-point run to close out the first half and to start the second half, which put him up by as much as 16 as Allison goes inside, has the first shot, blocked, stuck with it, and scores on the putback. Allison now with 15 points. That's what he had in the loss at Northern Kentucky on Saturday, as the Penguins, trying to get back in this game, are now down 13. Ball comes out to Green. Throws the alley-oop. Tough catch by Mayers. Still managed to catch it and then pop it in for 2. Mayers now with 6. Robert Morris, the first to 50. Cohill drives on Ferris. Out to Hunter. 15 to shoot, 12 minutes to go in the game. Akuche right baseline. Cohill near sideline 3. Off the back of the rim, rebound Allison offensively. Threw it to Ferris, trying to give it to Cohill. He'll take it to the basket, reverse side layup, springs off the front of 39. YSU having a disappointing night offensively, just 12 of 43 from the field for 28%. The Penguins are 3 of 17 from beyond the arc tonight. Rattan Mays gives to Akuche. Can't get off a three, now gives to Cohill. To Hunter, his turnaround jumper. Won't go off the back of the rim, but there's Allison with the rebound offensively. Allison looking to drive, lost the ball against Cheeks, no foul call. Ball picked up by Khalil Spear of Robert Morris. And now Chase Cook comes into the game, and he'll work up the floor against Shamar Rattan Mays. And then he just got his pocket picked by Rattan Mays. Ball given to Cohill. He'll work in on Cook, who's called for the foul. He started falling back before contact was made, and it'll be a block against the 5'10 sophomore. So Chase Cook with his first. Cohill went right at him, and you can see on the replay that Cook was starting to fall back prematurely, and that's what led to the foul. Non-shooting violation, so Cohill will inbound. 11 minutes to play in the game. YSU with a mountain decline. Akuche with only 4 points tonight for the Penguins. Far sideline three for him, too strong. Rebound, grabbed by Spear of the Colonials.
Robert Morris has done an outstanding job forcing Youngstown State into some bad shots, and they only give them 1 shot per possession.
Colonials have out-rebounded YSU tonight, 27-24. Tough pass into Spear. Cohill knocks it loose. Akuche steals it for the Penguins. Bounce pass to Allison. Reverse layup. Can't get it to fall. Tap is good, though, by Cohill. Penguins hanging in there, trying to mount a comeback. Cohill now with 8 points. So the foul against Jerron Williams is his second. Cohill gets a chance in the three-point play. In the meantime, Chase Cook will go to the bench for Robert Morris. Michael Green III comes back in.
One of the rare buckets that the Penguins have scored in transition, something the Penguins needed to do in the pregame show.
Cohill's attempt is right on the money. He's now 3 of 4 from the line here tonight. 9 points overall for the junior out of Cleveland. Penguins will pick up pressure. But the Colonials come into the forecourt. Allison chasing Cheeks, who will take it right to the basket and ram it in for 2. That's the kind of night it's been now for Robert Morris. Cheeks with 6, and he would not be denied. Colonials playing with a lot of confidence right now. Rattan Mays left wing 3, too strong off the rim. Rebound snatched away by Spear as we play under 10 minutes here in the game. Williams by the Mayers screen. 10 to shoot now. They'll run the pick and roll maybe. Green goes inside to Spear, who scores off the glass. Spear with 16. Patience pays off for Robert Morris, which now leads 56-38.
And Robert Morris just did a really nice job to make sure that you get doubled and you put the ball into the guy that's not guarded. Just an easy 2 points for Robert Morris.
Cohill slides to the ground, keeps the dribble alive. He's got a chance at a 3. Fakes it, steps inside the 3-point line, and drills the 18-footer. Wayne Cohill now in double figures for the 23rd time this season. He's got 11 points for the Penguins, who are still down by 16. Williams, the unlikely dribbler, comes into the forecourt. Couldn't get rid of it quick enough, found Spear. Robert Morris can work clock now with 15 to shoot. Mayers with the mismatch against Cohill. Rattan Mays tried to come inside, tie him up. Mayers shoots over Cohill and scores. Matt Mayers, who had 11 points in game 2 here in Youngstown against Youngstown State, has 8 points here tonight, and he has put the Colonials up 58-40. Second time they've now led by 18 here in the half with 8 minutes to go. Pass to Akuche, deflected on the floor. 50-50 ball goes to Spear of RMU. Clears the green, And Robert Morris again can work the clock. Williams near sideline 3. Nope, that one's no good, and the rebound to Cohill for YSU. Akuche finds Ollison, goes up strong, got that one to fall through. Tevin Ollison with 17 points.
From Michael Akuche.
YSU still with a lot of work to do. Mayers gives to Spear, right to the basket, scooped it up and in. Robert Morris getting down the floor and out hustling YSU, and the lead returns to 18. Ollison far 3, left it short, long rebound, run down by Enoch Cheeks of the Colonials. No look bounce pass to Mayers, who hammers in 2. The Colonials are 12 of 17 from the floor for 71%. YSU in the second half, 6 of 24 from the floor for 25%.
Head coach Jared Calhoun has emptied the bench.
See if these next 5 guys can help out, as Chacon's runner down the left of the lane's no good, but Jameer Thomas grabbed the miss and then got fouled on the putback attempt by Brandon Stone, who commits his 3rd of the night. So Jameer Thomas, who had 3 points in game 1 to go with 7 rebounds, which was a season high, heads to the stripe. In game 2, he did not score. In fact, Thomas has been scoreless in 9 of his final 11 games that he played in the regular season. Free throw here, bounces around and puts him in the scoring column. Thomas averaging 2 points, 2.5 rebounds a game, misfires on the next attempt. Rebound saved by Cam Ferris to Brandon Stone. Green now on Owen Long. 15 to shoot. Colonials in no hurry as we come up on 6 minutes left to play in the game. Ferris, left wing 3. Nope, rebound, Thomas for Youngstown State. Chacon now works into the forecourt. Shelton, right wing 3, got it. Chris Shelton, in his last 7 games having been played, was 0 of 9 from beyond the arc. That's his first made 3 since January 23rd.
This gets the young man started. He led all of Division I in three-point percentage last year.
They try to run the alley-oop, a little tough for Spear to catch, and the Penguins come away with the basketball. 5.5 minutes to go. YSU trailing by 16. Out front, a foul here against Jerron Williams. That's his 3rd. Robert Morris goes over the woman.
His 3rd, team 7.
So back to the line goes Youngstown State.
And if the Penguins can get to the free throw line, they're a good foul shooting team.
Owen Long at the stripe here for the season, a 67% shooter. 3 points tonight for Long on 1 made field goal. Free throw for him's off the back of the rim, no good. And as Spear had position, he gets fouled from behind by Jameer Thomas. Thomas is first for YSU, team foul number 3. But you missed the front end of the 1-and-1, and you can't help your own cause. Robert Morris trying to win the season series from YSU. And advanced to the quarterfinals. Green spins inside, lost his footing, managed to get the ball to Spear. In on Will Dunn, and he stepped on the baseline. Nope, foul instead. Oh, it's a charge, how about that? Yep. Khalil Spear called for the foul, his 2nd, and will turn it over to Youngstown State. Coming into this game, the Penguins were 5-1 at home in Horizon League tournament play. They had won their last couple of opening round games here at home, having beaten Milwaukee and then last year UIC. Will Dunn gets the ball into Thomas. Backing it on Stone, who blocked his shot. and then he takes the ball away for the Colonials. Robert Morris now with 5 block shots in the game.
Their interior defense has been nothing short of spectacular tonight.
4.5 minutes to go in the contest. Ferris spins, can't find an opening. Feeds to Stone, who's open. His floater short, rebound on the floor, and Chacon grabs it for YSU. Ball scooped to Dunn. Penguins got to go now. Down 16 with 4 minutes to play. Dunn near corner 3. Nope, too strong. Rebound batted out of bounds though by, we'll be talking about this one. Robert Morris, the 10 seed, beating the 7 seed Youngstown State Penguins 62-46. Penguins return their starters off the timeout. Bounce pass to Dunn, who hammers in the net. Dunn with his first field goal gives him 3 points. And the Penguins trying to trap in the backcourt, now down by 14. Spear fouled by Dunn. That's his second, only the 4th against YSU as a team here in the half.
Team's 4.
3:36 to play. Dunn and Rateme's trying to trap Green, but he's able to throw it ahead to Stone. Now they try to trap him. Green lost the ball as Rattan Mays knocks it out of play. That will be 14 seconds on the shot clock for RMU. Ball knocked away from behind by Rattan Mays, but Allison couldn't grab it. Green gets it back. Clears to Stone, whose floater is no good. Ball batted into the air. Grabbed by Green. Robert Morris getting every 50-50 ball.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, Rob. Robert Morris wants this game more than Youngstown State. They're grabbing every 50-50 ball.
Cheeks floater goes up. That bounced across the basket. Rebound, tipped back out. Green grabs it. Ferris for 3. That won't fall, but Stone's there for the putback and banks in 2. Pushes the lead up to 64-48 now for Robert Morris. Dunn near corner for 3. Blocked out of bounds by Enoch Cheeks. 6th block shot of the night registered by the Colonials.
Penguins ball, 22 seconds remaining on the shot.
Penguins will have 22 seconds to shoot it here. 2:27 remaining in this one. Akuche, who has just 4 points tonight, spins, hooked it up and in. His first 2 of the second half. The 5th-year senior from Plantation, Florida, with 6 points. Not the way he wanted to go out here tonight. YSU will foul, trailing by 14. Rattan Mays grabs his 3rd foul.
Penguins are going to have to foul 2 more times in order to put Robert Morris to the free throw line.
Ball thrown into Cheeks, got ahead of the defense. Tried to lay it in. Cohill fouled him from behind, denied the basket, but free throws are coming. Cohill's 3rd. 2 charity tosses for Cheeks, who heads to the line for the first time. He's an 81.5% shooter from the stripe this season for the year. Against the league, 84%. Cheeks with 6 points overall. He's now made all 5 of his free throws this season against Youngstown State. RMU looking to advance to the quarters. They would more than likely play at Cleveland State, the #1 seed, on Thursday at 7 o'clock. Cheeks with 8 points after making both free throws. Rattan Mays, right baseline. Cheeks from behind, tried to steal the ball away. Instead, he's called for the foul. That's his 4th. Sometimes gambles a little too much. But with a 16-point lead, he can afford to do that for the Colonials.
You don't want to stop the clock if you commit the foul. You don't want to give Youngstown State an opportunity to score points with the clock stopped.
Rattan Mays heads to the line for the first time. He has just 2 points in the game. Give him 3. Rattan Mays, a 79% free throw shooter for the season and against the league.
Well, we said this game was going to be tough for Youngstown State.
It has been. YSU has never led in this game. We were tied 3 times in the first half at 18, 21, and 23. It was a 10-point run by the Colonials that had given them a double-digit lead, and they have not looked back since. So the foul here against Cohill, his 4th, and now puts the Penguins over the limit with 1:58 to play in the game.
Now, the only way that you can hope for a comeback here, you have 3 opportunities to foul Robert Morris, and an opportunity for Robert Morris to miss 3 1-and-1s.
Spear tonight, 3 of 6 from the stripe, 18 points overall. He has played very well this season and really played much better after Rasheem Dunn left the program following the first meeting between these 2 teams in Moon Township. Spear looking to reach 20 points in scoring for the 9th time this season. Left the free throw short. He's stuck on 19 for the meantime. With that, Cohill runs by Cheeks, who comes back and blocks his shot. Akuche follows, can't go. Tap is there, though.
Michael Akuche.
Akuche now with 8. YSU behind by 13. Green lost the ball, picked up by Ollison of Youngstown State. He'll take it himself to the basket. Floater goes up off the back of the rim. Rebound done. Comes out to Cohill. Left wing 3. Got it! All right, Khalil Spear to inbound from the right baseline. Dunn guarding him. Ball goes into Ferris. They trap him. Ferris in trouble. Turns. Had the ball knocked loose. Dunn steals it. Goes up. Laid it in for Youngstown State. Will Dunn, the benefactor of the turnover. Penguins do within 8 now. They trap Ferris again, and then a quick foul here. YSU has scored what has turned out to be 9 of the last 10 points.
His 2nd, team's 8th.
It's not a bad foul. Again, 2 opportunities for Robert Morris to blow 1-and-1s here. So let's see if Ferris can do that for Robert Morris. Now, obviously, Robert Morris, you want to hit this free throw and get the bonus.
Ferris 2 of 2 from the line. He stays perfect. He's in double figures for the 3rd time this season against Youngstown State. Ferris in double digits for the 12th time this season. His team's lead now goes to 9. 1:15 to play in the game. Ferris again. That one's no good. Rims out to Dunn. Penguins got to hurry now. Rattan Mays far sideline 3. Bang, bang! YSU trails 68-62. They'll trap. Spear gets away from Rattan Mays, leads it up the floor, but threw it over the head of Michael Green, the 3rd, and out of bounds. 59 seconds to play in the game, and YSU trails 68-62.
1 minute in regulation.
59 seconds to go. It's a 2-possession game. Cohill down the right of the lane to the basket, has his shot blocked by Spear, and he grabs it for the Colonials. Then Enoch Cheeks gets fouled by Tevin Ollison, who picks up his 3rd. Well, Cohill had the right idea, get to the basket quickly and try to score 2.
Number 2, Tevin Ollison. His 3rd.
And again, Robert Morris with a big block. That one by Spear. All right, the Colonials called to the free throw line. 52.2 seconds to play. Enoch Cheeks, 2 of 2 from the line, 8 points overall for the sophomore.
1-and-1 for Enoch Cheeks.
Still in the 1-and-1. Front end for him, good. Now looking to score double figures for the 16th time this season. His team's lead is at 7. Again, Robert Morris led by as much as 20 here in the 2nd half. That one's no good. Rebound to Dunn. Penguins hurry into the forecourt now. Cohill finds Akuche left wing 4-3. No good. Rebound Cheeks. And he's fouled quickly on the play. So we'll walk it down to the left end of the floor.
Foul number 25, Will Dunn.
Foul on Dunn, his third. 42.1 seconds to go. However, Robert Morris is now in the double bonus, leading by 7. Enoch Cheeks just split a pair of free throws.
For Enoch Cheeks.
Colonials now as a team, 11 of 17 for the game from the line. Cheeks goes straight through for his 10th point, putting him in double figures for the 16th time this season. His team goes up by 8 now with 42 seconds to go. That one's on the money. 2 big free throws for the Colonials. They lead 71-62. Cohill quickly in the forecourt. Down the left of the lane, to the basket. Reverse layup, good off the glass, and got fouled. Still 37 seconds to play. Cohill now with 16 points in the game. So they give the foul to Cheeks, and that's his 5th. So Cheeks will exit with 11 points tonight. Fouls out of his 2nd consecutive game. Yeah, that's what I thought. They're looking at that.
Correction.
Yep.
Robert Morris
Foul on Khalil Spear.
I was going to say,
Yep.
Cheeks didn't foul him. It's a good job by the officials.
So Spears 3rd. Cheeks stays on the floor with 4. However, Cohill at the line for a 3-point play. YSU trying to get to within 6, and they do. Cohill with 17 ties Tevin Ollison for the team lead in scoring tonight. Up the floor, quick foul at midcourt on Cheeks. All the Colonials have to do now is shoot free throws. 35.8 seconds to go. It's a 2-possession game. Cheeks can make it a 3-possession game. Penguins just dug themselves too deep of a hole, it may appear here. So Cheeks, who stays in the game with 11 points. He's got a dozen points overall, 10 of them in this half. That one bounces off the rim to Ollison. YSU down 7. We come up on 30 seconds left to play. Cohill against Cheeks, throws up the runner and banked in 2. Cohill now with 19 points. YSU got a trap. Green then fouled with 27 seconds to go.
The Penguins don't have any timeouts left. That's the reason why they didn't call a timeout after Cohill got the bucket.
So now Michael Green III will shoot free throws.
He's 1 of 1 tonight from the line.
Green was 7 points overall, did all of his scoring in the first half. That foul on Will Dunn, his 4th. Green in the meantime knocks down that charity toss. A big one for Robert Morris, which leads now by 6.
This is a big one, can turn it into a 3-possession game.
Green hit them both.
Number 23,
With that,
Brandon Stone.
Brandon Stone will come in for defensive purposes, replacing Jerron Williams of Robert Morris. Colonials lead 74-67. Cohill gonna race up the floor now. Near sideline, bounce past Ollison. Tried to make the cross-court pass, intercepted by Stone. To Green, and that may do it. 16 seconds to go, and the Colonials may have survived the storm here in the late goings at Beagley.
His 4th person.
So Michael Green now 3 of 3 from the line. They're going to reach double figures in scoring for the 15th time this season. Green trying to ice it for RMU. First one though bangs off the back of the rim. Foul against Rattan Mays was his 3rd. Green again. In and out, back in. Puts him in double figures with 10 points. Robert Morris on top now by 8. 14 seconds. Cohill left wing 3 on the money. YSU down 5, but it may be too little too late. Cohill with 22 in the game. Down the floor, Ferris ahead of the pack. Drops in 2. Ferris now with a dozen. And that'll finish it tonight. Cohill again for 3. He'll finish with a good looking offensive performance, but that'll close.